Hello, 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 and welcome to Apex to Oval. I'm your host, Alex. My other host is Jack in one of these directions. And this week we're going to be talking about some F1, some NASCAR. We're going to do an IndyCar driver spotlight. And then we're going to be talking about races this weekend. Before we start, give us a 5-star review, like, subscribe, share if you enjoy the show. I also had a Women in Motorsports, Women in F1 article come out due to Doriane doing something special, which we'll talk about in just a bit, as it's our first story. And so that came out today. Check it out. I write sometimes. Let's get into it. All right. First up, we have Doriane testing a Mercedes F1 car, becoming the first woman to do so since 2023, and that was Jessica Hawkins in 2023. She became only, I believe, the sixth woman in modern F1 history to test an F1 car, and I count modern F1 history as 2010 and later. So
that is a very modern definition of modern.
What would you say modern is?
I feel like modern usually just divides, like, from way back when anyone showed up to any race with any car to, like, you know, kind of having set teams and everything like that.
That's
but
fair.
2010 just feels, like, shockingly recent.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, if you're going to, like, move it back to even, like, 2000, there's two other women that I'm thinking of. One of them, we've talked about on the podcast many times. Do you want to guess who that is?
Go for it.
Catherine Legg, 2005.
Goat.
Tested. I believe it. I forget what team it was, but I know she tested in 2005. But Doriane becomes the first one since 2023, and she was testing their W12, which was from their 2021 Constructors title year, their final one of their 8-year run. So, yeah, it was also the year that Lewis lost the title in devastating fashion for many fans. But yeah, she did a good amount of laps. Good amount of miles, about 200 kilometers, which comes out to like 135 miles or something like that. And yeah, she did well. I think she's one of the only women that haven't been dropped by their academies since leaving F1 Academy.
Yeah.
So bad. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a bad look on the teams that have dropped their drivers from F1 Academy.
At least Abby Pulling has been, you know, if you want to talk about winners of the series, at least Abby Pulling is still racing.
Yes. Marta Garcia is also racing, but she's no longer in Formula. She's in GT cars.
I was going to say, like, Abby Pulling is in Formula levels above, you know, the whatever F4 level F1 Academy would count as.
Yeah.
But evidently, I guess you have to win to really be properly supported in any meaningful way.
Yeah. I think also Doriane just also announced that she's driving the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
I'm pretty sure I heard that.
I'm pretty sure that was announced. So I'll be watching the 24 Hours of Le Mans for Doriane because my favorite driver, Kevin Estre, is not in WEC anymore. Well, actually, I think he's racing for the 24 Hours of Le Mans, but he's not racing for Porsche, so I'm not going to... Like, I'll support him on the side, but not the team. I will support Doriane's team. But
yeah,
I have a video...
Oh.
Sorry? I was
just going to say she's a legit prospect. She, is obviously a ways away, but in this case, getting experience behind an F1 car is the only way to be able to continue to drive, to have dreams of driving an F1 car.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, for the FIA to let you keep doing it. And it's, I don't know, it's worth remembering that she was good before F1 Academy, and she continues to be good post F1 Academy.
Yeah. I'll actually go over... Now, I have a video, by the way, for anyone wondering who were some of the women that have tested F1 cars before Doriane this past weekend. I have a video on it. Link will be in the description. It's like 2 minutes, 50 seconds or something like that. It just explains a little bit of who has raced, or not who's raced, but like who has tested in an F1 car since 2012. So I will give out a quick list. You have Doriane this past weekend, Jessica Hawkins in 2023. There was Tatiana Calderon in 2017 with Sauber. There was Simona De Silvestro with, I believe it was Sauber again. And she was the closest to racing in Formula One from any of the females that have since tested. She had a contract to ramp her up to race in Formula One for the 2015 season, but later contract disputes kind of screwed with that timeline, and she left for Formula E shortly after, which sucks because we actually could have had a woman in Formula One in 2015. She was an IndyCar driver before that. And then Maria De Villota, who test drove for Marussia in 2012 and sadly passed away in 2013 after she suffered a major crash at her test in 2012. She hit a lorry, and the lorry went through her eye, and she ended up having some neurological damage from it, and it later gave her a heart attack, and she died from it, sadly. So rest in peace. But many people might know her as the star on Carlos Sainz's helmet, which is a tribute to her. If you look at the back of any of Carlos Sainz's helmets, you will see the star, and that is in memory of Maria De Villota. So those are all the drivers. And then Susie Wolff. How did I forget about Susie Wolff? Susie Wolff in 2014 tested, became the first woman to participate in a Formula One race weekend in 22 years prior to her test in July 2014 at Silverstone during Free Practice 1. She became the test driver the next year, tested a couple more times at a couple more Grand Prix. I believe it was the Spanish Grand Prix in 2015, as well as Silverstone again in 2015 in FP1. What a driver. Also probably could have made it to F1 if given the opportunity. She was very, very good in her time. In other news, the regulations have been tweaked a tad for 2026. Now, obviously, there was a lot of complaints. There have been some changes. Obviously, the qualifying trick that Mercedes and Red Bull used is no longer a trick, even though it did literally nothing to help them. There was, as I look, because I've seen it before on the FIA's Instagram, but I haven't seen it since. They are reducing the maximum permitted recharge from 8 joules to 7 joules, which is aimed at reducing megajoules. Yeah, aimed at reducing excessive harvesting and encouraging more consistent flat-out driving. They are increasing the peak superclip power to 350 kilowatts. Previously, it was 250 kilowatts. Further reducing the time spent recharging and reducing driver workload and energy management.
Jumping in with those two, because they go together. People complained about superclipping, about slowing down at the end of straights, about it feeling like not racing. Between having less maximum power you can store up and being able to store power at a faster rate, those two combined are designed so that drivers won't be just slowing down at the end of straights, so that you won't have to do such extreme measures to recharge the battery, and instead, you could charge it basically to full through, ideally through the course of like a more normal lap.
Yes. And then the number of events where alternative lower energy limits may apply has been increased from 8 to 12 races, allowing greater adaptation to circuit characteristics. On the race, the maximum power available through the boost in race conditions is now capped at plus 150 kilowatts. So that limits the performance differentials that led to Ollie Behrman getting into a 50G crash in China. And then, or was it Japan? I think it was China. One of the two. Ollie Behrman got into a 50G crash because Colapinto moves to the middle of the road, and Behrman was going so much faster, and he couldn't control the car and crashed into the barrier. Also, the MGU-K deployment is maintained at 350 kilowatt in key acceleration zones from corner exit to braking point, including overtaking zones, but will be limited to 250 kilowatts in other parts of the lap. And then for race starts, a new low-power start detection system has been developed, capable of identifying cars with abnormally low acceleration shortly after clutch release. In such cases, an automatic MGU-K deployment will be triggered to ensure a minimum level of acceleration and mitigate start-related risks without introducing any sporting advantage. And then a visual warning is being introduced, activating flashing lights, rear and lateral unaffected cars to alert following drivers. And a reset of the energy counter at the start of the formation lap has also been implemented to correct a previously identified system inconsistency.
What do you think about that?
As long as it doesn't hurt the race starts, I don't really care.
Because you were pretty firmly against them doing anything to help teams with poor race starts in the name of safety, which this is helping teams with poor race starts in the name of safety.
Yeah, so I think my particular thing about them changing the race starts was purely based on like let the teams who have an advantage, but this I think does a good job of maintaining the at least from on paper maintaining the advantage while making it a lot safer for drivers to start races. So I'm not mad at it. I actually kind of like it. We'll see in Miami if this works. Do you have any thoughts on it?
No, I mean, I'm sure Williams will still be the fastest off the line. I'm sure among people in the front rows, Ferrari will still get off faster than Mercedes and Red Bull. You know, I don't think it'll necessarily change anything, but it does close the gap, right? And people always have different reactions to any step like this that closes the gap between a team that earned an advantage and a team that deserved where they were in a way.
Yeah. And then final thing, wet conditions. Tire blanket temperatures for intermediate tires have been increased following driver feedback in order to improve initial grip and tire performance in wet conditions. A maximum ERS deployment will be reduced, limiting torque and improving car control in low grip situations. And the rear light systems have been simplified with clearer and more consistent visual cues to improve visibility and reaction time for following drivers in poor conditions. All of that, I think, are good changes. It doesn't change everything too much, and it should make everything a lot safer for the drivers so they don't kill themselves while driving. Because as we know, racing is a very dangerous sport, which we'll talk about more at the end of this podcast. But all good changes. Cool with you?
Yeah, I think that if anything was going to happen, this is about as good as you can hope for. In the sense that the takes on this vary from, oh my god, the FIA is in Mercedes' pocket, this basically just solidifies their advantage, to, oh my god, they're changing how this works because Mercedes is too far ahead. Which, if you get that varied reactions, that probably means reality is kind of at a sweet spot in the middle.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it actually pans out on track. But I think that they could have done worse, for sure.
Oh, 100%. I think they did a great job of balancing safety and the current regs, so I like it a lot. Yeah. Let's talk about something that came as a surprise to many people in the past day. Drivers are facing tax crackdowns in Italy. According to sources, Italy might be charging certain drivers with criminal charges because they didn't pay taxes or did, or who knows.
The idea is that if you compete in Italy and you earn money as part of a sporting event in Italy, you are required to file an Italian tax return and pay income taxes on that money. This has not really been enforced historically, but it's being looked at with, in general, a broader crackdown in the Italian tax authority. And And F1 becomes a focal point both because of its popularity in the country and just the amount that these drivers make, that makes it become automatically like criminal prosecution if it's over a certain amount. But personally, I think that the reality here is that Italy, as a country, has realized that if they just arrest every other driver on the grid, it's gonna have to come down to Ferrari and their own Kimi Antonelli.
I think you're forgetting one other driver that isn't currently on the F1 grid. But
Italian Jesus, Antonio Giovinazzi?
That's exactly who I was thinking. Italian Jesus, Ferrari's reserve driver. Italian Jesus, a.k.a. Antonio Giovinazzi. I think could make a return if enough drivers get arrested.
But no, in all...
What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. No, but in all seriousness, no driver is going to get arrested for this, but it's still a headline because it's, I guess, a possibility. But, like, I think that if they notice discrepancies, they send a letter to the driver, saying, hey, pay the tax return. Or, there's got to be some recourse for the drivers because for Italy, this is about recouping the revenue. This is not about making international headlines by arresting Lewis Hamilton, right? Like, that's just the reality of the matter, right?
Yeah. My thing is, it's like, the way I'm looking at this is like, it's like in the U.S. where like, if you, say I live in Connecticut. If I go to like New York and I make money in New York, I have to be taxed on it in New York. It's like that. It's like for Americans who like travel to different states and like yada yada yada. It's the same thing, but Italy, and they didn't enforce it, and now they are, and they're gonna get probably a good chunk of money. But
yeah.
This
isn't a new concept. It's just it's new for Italy to particularly care about it.
Yeah. And then we have two stories that we're going to combine into one because one of them happened at the event that this other one is based on. Lando Norris won the Laureus World Breakthrough of the Year award at their award show the other day, and during said award show, Lando got interviewed by somebody from The Guardian, and his management kind of muzzled him a little bit. Now, the questions that were asked to Lando were Max Verstappen and Oscar Piastri. No, Max Verstappen and George Russell. And then there was another question, or a couple of questions, on his thoughts on the current regulations, which I'm not going to lie, looking from like the very much outside, I don't know how this all went down, but I feel like those are two things that like I would be like, yeah, I don't want to talk about this. I know the management made him not talk about it, but I mean, if I were Lando, I would want to focus more on the award I just freaking won and the season I just had instead of Max and George and,
This was a long interview. This was a long
interview
interview where the majority of it was talking about his journey, everything like that. Lando actively wanted to answer these questions, and he said as much, and his management blocked it. Like,
okay, I don't know too much about this, so
it was literally just like the reporter at the very end of this interview is asking Lando a question, and then management steps in and says, we're out of time. And then Lando's like, oh, I'm not the boss. And then, this is the reigning Formula One world champion. This is a management company that works for Lando Norris, not the other way around. And Lando is like, he's in the same breath as saying, I'm not the boss. He says, no, I'm happy to answer that question. And management continues to put their foot down, say no. He's asked again afterwards about the regulations and about Mercedes and about rivals. And it's consistently like Norris is turning to his management and going, why can't I? Like, just say yes. Can I answer this? And they're saying no over and over. And he is falling in line, which is strange to see from a 26-year-old champion of the world. When, he's taken some criticism for his handling of the media, but in general, he gives a very thoughtful interview. His entire interview up to this point was really like well thought out. It's not like he's a liability up there. And it's not like these questions were going to bait him into being a liability either. It's just it's puzzling to see him like muzzled like this.
Yeah. I think it's a rough look. Hearing what happened, that's a rough look. I just heard that Lando is allegedly being muzzled, and that was it. I didn't really look into it a little more than that. But how you're describing it, that's so that's rough. I think personally, with the way he's been villainized by the media and by fans for what he says in certain interviews, if I were his media team, I would be cautious. I would let him answer it, but if he says anything stupid, that could cause backlash to him, I'd cut his answer a little short, but I feel like restricting him at all, or restricting him as a whole to not answer the question at all, I think is a bit too much.
Even what you're saying feels beyond overblown. I think the fact that F1 social media fan bases are overly sensitive and will kind of blow up anything. Like, we're not talking about a Busch brother here. Like,
no.
We're still talking about a very thoughtful interview who's a race car driver.
Yes, but what I'm saying is a lot of things that Lando says regarding other drivers can be taken out of context and then villainized against him, and we know how his mental health has gone because of said reactions.
But that's still not his fault. That's just a sign of where F1 is as a sport. Like, that's not a reason for him to not give an interview.
I'm not saying
that is perfectly normal in racing anywhere. I'm just saying limit the reactions maybe, but don't. But that's a normal part of racing. But you don't
that
happens
see,
in any series.
Yeah, but I feel like it happens to Lando a lot more.
Not really, even.
From what I've seen, it happens to Lando a lot more. Just because he's very open to the media compared to other drivers who just don't answer them. He gives the media a lot more, or he gives the fans a lot more ammo because he's more open in his interviews, which is a good thing because as a journalist, I would love for whoever I'm interviewing to be open 100%, but also...
I would argue that Lando is average or below average on the amount of ammo he actually gives. Just unlike Max, he doesn't have shooters on Twitter. No, seriously. Max is probably the only driver that has really anything resembling a media problem. Mm-hmm. But his fans just eat anything he says up to the point where, it really doesn't matter what he does. But no, Lando really doesn't.
Because I've seen a lot of, maybe it's because I'm on social media a lot, but I see a lot
Twitter
of
is a
things.
Terrifying.
Well,
place.
not just F1 Twitter, but I'm on Instagram a lot. I'm on TikTok a lot. I'm on Twitter a lot. I'll scroll on Facebook sometimes. A lot of shit is aimed at Lando and what he says in interviews. A lot of which is years ago. So I feel like most of it's a couple years ago, but I feel like he gets villainized a lot more than any other driver on the grid. I think that's a fair assessment.
I just don't think he has as loud of a fan base to cancel it out.
That also could be true. That could also be true. But, listen, not all. A lot of the women, and also a good amount of men that I follow, love Lando. So I get a lot of positive Lando propaganda on my followed feed, but as soon as I go to the For You page, it's gone to shit. So I feel like that statement that you just said about Lando's fans not being as vocal, I think is very true. I think they can be vocal, but I think on Twitter they're definitely not.
I mean, it was only a few weeks ago that Max threw a reporter out of an interview for nothing. And his fans were like backing him up tooth and nail. Like it's just a cesspool everywhere where if you don't have Lewis or Max style fans and you're a prominent driver, it's just going to seem negative towards you.
I'm not disputing that Max is a dickhead for that. But what I am disputing, I don't know what I'm disputing anymore. All right. We're going to move on. Speaking of what would you call what we just did? What would you call it?
I don't know.
Beefing.
Okay.
Speaking of beefing, Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin are back at it again with the white vans. Denny said some things on his podcast, Actions Detrimental, basically saying that, end quote, Busch has been struggling going back to his final 2 seasons at Joe Gibbs, adding, for a Mount Rushmore caliber driver, he should be able to, at the very least, outrun his teammate in Austin Dillon. And then Busch, at this past race weekend, said that Hamlin didn't know what the hell he's talking about and threatened to make his life hell on track, which probably ended up with him losing the race. Like, before the caution, like when Reddick, never mind. I'm maybe pulling it too much, but I'm pulling at strings right now. But like, I feel like because Busch raced him for a whole lap when he was going 5 laps down, and that helped Reddick catch up pretty damn quick. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at things a little differently, but what are your thoughts on that whole beef thing?
Is Denny wrong?
No, he's not.
He should outrun Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon is he's a multi-time winner, but he's really not all that great of a driver. Yeah.
Kyle Busch is a 2-time champion. Every single time when people bring up that Kyle Busch is better than Denny Hamlin, they're like, oh, he's a 2-time champion. Denny doesn't have the championships. Why isn't he outrunning Austin Dillon? Denny Hamlin is still the best driver at JGR. He's been that way for years. Why is Kyle Busch not outrunning his teammate when he is eons better than him? Tell me that.
Question for you.
Yeah.
What jacket are you wearing right now?
I'm wearing a Kyle Busch M&M's jacket. Here, I'll give you guys a spin. I'll show you my ass.
Oh, whoa, okay.
That's what Max said. Max said when he was on stage for the Red Bull and Ford reveal, someone's like, "Can you give us a twirl of your new jacket?" And he's like, "I'll show you my ass." That's what he said. You can look it up. Okay, here we go.
I don't doubt it. No, I think, but all-time legacy, Kyle Busch is up there. I mean, 2-time champion speaks for itself. Top 10. But
definitely,
obviously, right now, Denny Hamlin is clearly a better driver, and has been for a few years. I don't know if I agree with Denny saying that Busch has been struggling going back to his last couple of years at Joe Gibbs. I mean, he had a pretty solid start to his time at RCR. Right? Like he had some solid moments with RCR for sure. But right now, it's ugly. It's ugly. And I think that if you're Kyle Busch, you're lying to yourself if you're upset about that characterization. Be better.
Also, Denny Hamlin is walking on eggshells when he talks about Kyle Busch. Like, can we talk? Because he doesn't want to piss anyone off, especially the drivers. So, like, he's always walking on eggshells when he's talking about these drivers. And it's like, I don't know how you could be mad at him. He's telling the truth. Kyle Busch has been washed for years. Yes, his time at RCR when he started was really good, but where has that been the past 2 years? Yeah, RCR sucks as a manufacturer now, as a team, but like Austin Dillon has consistently made the playoffs. Well, that's a lie. He didn't make it 2 years ago, but he could have made it 2 years ago if he didn't wreck Logano and Denny, but he's consistently in or around the playoffs, and Busch hasn't. I don't get how Denny's right. Austin Dillon's talented, but he's not Kyle Busch talented. Kyle Busch could be 50 years old and he should still be outrunning Austin Dillon because he's Kyle frickin' Busch, but he's not. And it's quite sad to see as someone who likes Busch and obviously reps Busch. But, like, it's true. You shouldn't be behind Austin Dillon at any point. Is Austin Dillon, he's a great driver, but he's not the tier that Kyle Busch has and was when he was at his best. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking, I don't know. That's what I think. But I went in a circle like 5 times. Do you have any final thoughts on that?
Nope.
All right. Well, speaking of final thoughts, Daniel Dye let's give some context. Daniel Dye got suspended from the NASCAR Truck Series and I believe colleague racing. Or was it colleague?
Well, yeah, he was suspended. He was a truck driver for colleague.
Yes, he got suspended for homophobic comments towards David Malukas. And he got banned from NASCAR for a little bit and then suspended and dropped by colleague, although colleague says that he resigned from the team. And
you can't fire me. I quit.
Yeah. But he is back. He got reinstated a little while ago, and he is back. And he had never raced in the Cup Series before, and now he races 4 races in the Cup Series this year. And it goes back to the whole NASCAR giving assholes a bigger platform. Kyle Larson, Noah Gragson,
Daniel Dye,
and whoever that other guy you were talking about was.
Into a bad Cup ride. Like, yes, Live Fast is not awesome, but it's still a Cup ride, still a Cup Series debut.
I think this is a bad look on NASCAR. I think every time this happens, it's a bad look on NASCAR. I feel like, I don't know. I just think it's so stupid that every time somebody does something shitty, they get rewarded like they're a king. And it's like, why?
Although, in this case, it feels a little different because this isn't a guaranteed path forward, right? This is
You're right.
4 races for Live Fast rather than being a core part of a colleague truck team with a lot of investment and being in kind of the ground floor of the RAM program building up. So I think, like, obviously Cup better than truck, yes. For future prospects, it's not quite the same as, oh, wow, I was handed a Hendrick ride. Oh, wow, I was handed a Stewart-Haas ride. Where, like, it is a ride. It is a ride 3 weeks after his suspension was initially lifted, and it is part-time, where it's not quite as bad, but it's still, how do they keep getting promoted?
Yeah, also, he's never raced in the Cup before this. This week is his first ever Cup race. Like, how the hell did that even happen? How does this happen every time? I'm disappointed, because it's like, how about we not give shitty people good things?
I have a great idea for how we could get ourselves NASCAR rides.
We say something extremely racist, homophobic, or sexist.
No, we just ask really nicely.
That won't work.
Who would say no to this face?
It's proven not to work, though. The proven method is to be a dick. That's the proven method. It's happened like 4 times now. The proven method is be a dick, you'll get a better ride somewhere. It doesn't matter if it's part-time or full-time, you'll get a better ride somewhere. And that's the NASCAR way. Speaking of what is not the NASCAR way, NASCAR might be going full F1 in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Am I wrong?
I think so, but
it's an EV. All right, here's why I say that. NASCAR might be using an electric vehicle in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series in the future, as their R&D team is currently working on it. The reason why I say this is full F1, I feel like at some point, F1 went from full gas to half gas, half electric, and now
they haven't
like
been full
70.
gas in a good while.
Yeah, but they're now more electric.
Yeah.
Which, like, NASCAR is all gas and some electric. F1 was some gas, or mostly gas, some electric. Now it's mostly electric, some gas.
No,
NASCAR,
now it's 50-50 in F1.
is it 50-50? I thought it was like
Yes.
60-40.
Oh, 50-50.
All right, well, it's 50-50 now, and eventually they're going to be 100-0 EV. And they're just going to be Formula E, but like a little different.
You say that. They don't have plans for that. They've been
No,
more
but
in sustainable fuels than they have in full
listen, if
electrification.
they get sustainable fuels, I want V10s back on the grid.
Sustainable fuels aren't an actual scientific solution. But
I
anyway,
want a
that's
V10
besides
back.
the point. The reason I disagree with the characterization here is because I actually think that the EV part is bearing the lead. I think that NASCAR has been looking at electrifying one of their series for a very long time. To me, the scary part of this was that they were looking at turning the O'Reilly series into the crossover series, into the little SUV series, into the everyone's racing a 2026 Chevy Trailblazer series. You know, you'll have the Corolla Cross and the Chevy Trax and the Ford EcoSport all up against each other. Something like that. Because they were talking about how, well, the trucks have their identity and the Cup Series has their identity, but the middle series doesn't have an identity of its own. And that's why everyone just calls it by the title sponsor. So we got to make it have an identity. So we got to make it the crossover series. No, you don't. No, you do not. You do not need to do that. I do not want to watch a bunch of Chevy Traxes on a race course. I don't want to do it. I do not want that.
No, I think NASCAR does have an identity. It's giving shitty people opportunities.
True. But no, yeah, because here it also, like, yes, they're trying a full EV crossover. They're also planning to try a hydrogen powered engine. They've been looking at sustainable fuels, stuff like that, where the crossover part is really the new and scary part to me. Because what do you mean?
Do you know the meme hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby?
Yes.
Hydrogen engine versus EV.
Yes, but also fuel cells have been a thing for a long time.
All right, well, you know what?
I'm sorry. I had this book when I was a kid. It was called Car Science. And I would read it all the time because it was a banger book.
No, you read it because you're a little nerd.
This is true. Now I'm a big nerd.
Now you're a big nerd.
But that book from like the early 2000s talked about hydrogen fuel cell cars.
Interesting. You know what I think we should do?
What?
The O'Reilly series is now the Holy Trinity series.
Elaborate.
Ferrari LaFerrari. Is it Ferrari LaFerrari? No, fuck. What's the? It's like the McLaren P1, the Porsche 916 or 918 or whatever, and then whatever for. I think it's the Ferrari LaFerrari or whatever the hell theirs is. Just have those three cars, those three manufacturers, O'Reilly Auto Parts series. You have the Holy Trinity. You got like a bunch of drivers racing as the Holy Trinity. Banger series idea.
Yeah? Why not? Better than crossovers, I'll tell you that.
I think that's genuinely though. Do you think that's a good idea? The Holy Trinity series.
I think it is. I think that oval racing is not the format for it.
Okay.
Although I would love to see those cars beaten and banging at Martinsville.
Dude, it's gonna be like $1.2 million worth of damages on one fucking car. Like the entire car is gonna be totaled by halfway through the race. There's gonna be one person left at the end. This is gonna be demolition derby. I would love to see the Holy Trinity series race at Landmark Park exclusively.
I agree.
Screw the rest of the country. Landmark Park.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now that we got that down to the business, if you could have any manufacturer in NASCAR, who would you pick? That's not already in NASCAR.
That's not already in NASCAR.
No, not already in NASCAR.
Let's see.
Could literally be anybody.
Because I'm going to count Dodge as already existing since Ram is in the trucks, and that's a matter of time. So, this is a good question. I gotta think on it for a second here because
Can I give you my answer?
Go for it.
Then what do you think? Okay. So normally I would just pick Porsche because that's my favorite brand and manufacturer, but I'm not going to pick Porsche because Porsches don't mix with the current cars. What instead is we're going to run like 17 Jeep Cherokees at like maximum power and like V8 engines and all that. And then, but like the doors aren't on the car. So the doors will not be on the car, just like people with Jeep Cherokees do.
Are you talking about a Wrangler?
Oh wait, you're right. It is a Wrangler. Shit.
Okay.
You're right. It's the Wrangler. And then Ford can introduce their Ford Bronco with the doors off. And then Chevy will and Toyota will have to leave.
Surely Chevy didn't revive the Blazer name around the same time as Ford revived the Bronco. But
You're
instead
right.
of making it a good vehicle, they just made it another stupid crossover. Ugh. But no, I was thinking, it occurred to me that it would actually make so much sense if they did the crossover series for it to be Ram in the trucks, Jeep in the crossover series, and like Dodge for the car series. Like for Stellantis to just go with those three brands. But no, I was thinking it wouldn't make sense to have a manufacturer who the parent company is already in NASCAR. Like it wouldn't make sense to have like Cadillac when you already have Chevy, right? So then I was thinking it would be cool to have Honda because they've talked about it a lot, right? That's been something that has been thought of a long time. But honestly, give me a German team. I don't care what form it's in. I don't care like whether it's Volkswagen, whether it's Audi, whether it's one of the other brands, even one of the brands that we don't have in the United States. Could even be. Although I don't know if Porsche has like a consumer sedan that they can market as their car, but you don't really have to. I mean, the Mustang and Camaro, neither of them are. I was just thinking of the Camry.
You could do the Panamera.
Yeah. I mean, it would have to be a little less hatchy because the Panamera's got a bulbous back.
Got big bunda.
But yeah, I mean, one of the like Volkswagen Group brands would be nice. I feel like, because we have a Japanese company with a strong footprint in America already. We have the American brands, the key American brands all represented. So it's kind of another big center of current motorsport. And I would much rather that than Hyundai Kia.
So I have a question then. Does Rimac or Bugatti entice you? just a little bit.
Does Rimac still like exist and sell cars?
I don't actually know. I just know that they like were owned by like I think Porsche or like
what is it? Bugatti Devo Cup car.
No, the Tourbillon, bro. We need the Tourbillon.
Oh,
actually,
dude,
you don't
right.
know. Actually, fuck that. We want the Bugatti Veyron Supersport back in production.
You're right.
It was founded in 2009, and apparently they made the Nevera in 2018, and
Oh yeah, Rimac. They still sell. They still sell.
yeah, they have a robo taxi
Oh.
concept, which actually that could definitely be a NASCAR. That looks like a fat Chevy. That like if you took the Cup Chevy and you made it wide as shit and like compressed the hood into like super tiny, that's what the Robo Taxi looks like. And then they're planning to launch the Vern, which is the Robo Taxi, in 2026 in Zagreb, and then UK in 2027. Listen, all I'm saying, that would be a banger. If you're going to introduce the all-electric series, you have to let Rimac in. like genuinely, that is the only way it'll be fun. is if Rimac is in it. Because I'll be damned if I'm going to fucking sit in the stands and hear nothing when all the cars go by. My hair's going to be flying every which direction, and I hear jack shit.
Well, hang on. Have you been seeing people playing Fetty out of their BMW i8 mufflers?
Yeah. I have, bro. Fetty was out of prison. I'm so happy. He went on like this like music thing the other day with what's his name? The one he made 679 with. Mine or.
But I just mean in reference to there are a handful of EV manufacturers that try to play some engine noise. Obviously, the i8 was one of them with those muffler speakers. But you wouldn't be hearing nothing. I'm sure they'd be trying to pump some noise out. Because even when they were making the next gen car, even when they were making the next gen car, they were like the sound was a key priority in development of the NASCAR next gen. To the point where they changed the design like partway through. Like they ran it, they got feedback, and they made it louder.
God, I love the sound of race cars. That's why F1 makes me so sad. Because, like, I've heard, like, the V8s, the V10s, and I'm like, God, that sounds fucking beautiful. Like, I wish there was a way to get that noise with the current engines, but there's not.
The hybrids are faster. They produce more power.
I know, but, like, I know they do, and I like the fast cars go vroom vroom, but, like, I want a cool-sounding F1 car, and I want it to sound like fucking what's it called? Damn. I want it to sound
like right on cue.
So yeah, I want it to sound like Cthulhu is coming out of the ocean in a boss fight. Like, just saying. Also, shout out Rajah Caruth, who, as we are recording on Tuesday at 9:30 at night, he is currently streaming Minecraft. And I heard some terrifying noises, which makes me not want to play it. So, like, genuinely, I'm typing up this document of stuff. I'm typing up the show notes. And swear to God, I hear just this scary-ass scream for, like, 5 seconds. And then it stops. And I'm like, shit, that was his stream as I shit my pants. Like, it was not a good... It was scary, dude. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Anyway, Cup recap for Kansas. Tyler Reddick is cracked most wins in first 9 races since Dale in 87. And let's just talk about some of the comments on Facebook and just every social media about Toyota
NASCAR,
cheating and 2311 cheating and the extra 50 horsepower, which doesn't actually exist. What happened?
My keyboard just fixed itself in front of my very eyes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh my God. I didn't. Oh, I'm sorry. The caps lock ASD keys and the CVBN keys were always stuck as a different color than every other key on the keyboard. And out of nowhere, they are normal now.
That's satisfying. That's actually really satisfying.
I'm sorry. That took me completely off track.
That's very nice. That's nice to hear. But yeah, there's been a lot of comments on social media being like, "Oh, they're cheating. Oh, Toyota paid NASCAR. Oh, they won the settlement and they're now super good. NASCAR's making them good." Jack, can you remind me who is the other team in this lawsuit that happened?
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say Front Row Motorsports.
And where are Front Row Motorsports right now?
Ooh,
that's correct. In the gutter.
I know. Not good.
Yeah. So guess what? It's not because of the lawsuit, dumbasses.
Maybe they're a well-funded team with an alliance with a very good team, with a very strong driver lineup. I mean, Tyler Reddick is the hottest driver in NASCAR, and I don't just mean.
Well, bro, you're saying that when Denny Hamlin is sitting right there for you to compliment.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Denny Hamlin is handsome. All right. He arguably, he might be the most attractive on the grid at 44 years old.
I will not speak because I am not qualified to give an opinion on that.
I am, and I will say he
Okay.
is.
Okay.
With who would I put second? Joey Logano, but not like with hair Joey Logano. Like I want
Bald dad Joey
Lex
Logano?
Lex Luthor Joey Logano is a pretty handsome guy.
Alex, I think you have a type.
You think I have a type? It's just my favorite drivers. Is it? What's my type?
Old.
Lewis Hamilton's pretty cool.
I'm going to tell you something about Lewis Hamilton.
He's pretty cool.
You're not going to believe this.
I guess I'm going to tell you, there's no way you're going to guess. Anyway. Cody Ware's crew chief caused Denny the win.
Yeah, he was running way too long on those tires.
Dude, it's like 60 laps on tires that only last 40. What the fuck?
Like I get the approach there of like trying to make the tires last, trying to keep the position, all that. But come on, man. Like you saw the tires giving in better conditions than that. Like at some point, and it was the only natural caution of the day, whatever else. Like, yeah, whatever. But it feels so high stakes to be running that kind of risk for that kind of reward. Yeah.
Did you see what what's his name on DBC? He was like pressing Tommy Baldwin. It's Bubba's spotter.
Freddie,
yeah. Freddie was pressing Tommy Baldwin on the pod. That shit was hilarious. Yeah. And then someone in the comments said, "Why wasn't your driver at the front?" Well, he was top 5, so like piss off.
Sorry. Can't win every week. Not everyone's fucking Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, dude. Tyler Reddick, I'm not gonna lie, he actually might be like,
he's insane.
He might be like, you know how like there's like, you're in soccer, there's like regular people, most pros, Cristiano Ronaldo, and then like all the way out of this fucking atmosphere is Lionel Messi.
Sure.
I'm starting to think that Tyler Reddick, since this lawsuit and since he has job security, has become the Lionel Messi of NASCAR. Just unbelievable week in and week out.
You know, last year was a down year for him. Obviously, he had a lot going on in his personal life. With his son, with the lawsuit, with the team, hurting some of the team's chances, all of that. I would argue this is just who Tyler Reddick is. Like, he was the regular season champion the year before that, yeah?
Yeah,
in a car that was not the Hendrick that he was competing with.
And not the JGR.
No, like, this is still... Yeah,
and not the Penske.
It is... It's just incredible what he's able to do. And there's a reason that he was tearing it up at RCR. You know, he was killing it in the Xfinity Series. He was tearing it up at RCR. He hops over to 2311 and is instantly good there. Like, it... Just imagine. Like, you know, 2311 continues to grow as a team. This is what he's doing now. When JGR is still clearly a better team. Yeah. In a lot of cases. Like, it... He's so good.
Let's talk about the end right there. Between him and Larson. Larson gets a massive gap because Denny's running everybody wide. And Reddick hawks down Kyle Larson, who looked like he had an insurmountable lead with a lap to go, hawks his ass down, takes the win. Not many people can do that to Kyle Larson in a Hendricks. Maybe in wherever he was at before, but not in a Hendricks. That Kyle Larson's a different animal in a Hendricks car. And Tyler Reddick made him look like a literal child.
He's too good.
He's actually so good.
Anyway, speaking of good, Chase Briscoe. Very good driver. Finally has something to show for it this year.
Yeah.
a P3. Denny, of course. We talked about him getting messed up. Thanks to Cody Ware.
He also committed terrorism against his teammate. Am I wrong? Was that not like? Be honest. Denny Hamlin on the last restart. Was that not fucked?
I will not speak.
I think you should. The man manhandled Christopher Bell into the wall.
Oopsies.
He did the same thing he did with Bubba last spring or last fall as he did with Christopher Bell on Sunday.
Yeah, but also they're racers. That stuff happens.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if Denny Hamlin running somebody he is connected with, either teammates or owner-wise, into the wall at Kansas in the past year, I would have 2 nickels.
Which isn't a lot.
Which is a lot.
It's weird that it happened twice.
But yeah. Do you want to talk about 2311? Like, as not just Reddick, as a whole?
Bubba P5. And wait for it. Riley Herbst in 14th?
And who was he ahead of?
Corey Heim, his eventual replacement, in 15th. Every car in the top 15, and Riley Herbst actually having a good finish.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I think Corey Heim, being the driver he is forcing Riley Herbst to be an actual decent driver. I think Riley Herbst with Corey Heim hot on his ass the entire race had the race of his lifetime because Corey Heim was on that ass.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that it's.
I'm just saying,
that these guys are all
race,
uber competitive racers. That I don't think they need any more motivation to go out there and try to win a race.
I think that Herbst has proven he can do something, and hopefully he can build on it. Maybe he pulls a Ty Gibbs. You know, he sucks for a little bit, but uber talented, not doing as well, and then all of a sudden, it all came together in one race. Maybe. There's also no DNFs.
Yeah, we had no cautions until Cody Ware.
Yeah, which is wild. And then in O'Reilly, Tillery won. Kvapil flipped a shit ton. And he's
that was crazy.
Which is great. Yeah, I don't know how the hell that. I have never seen an O'Reilly car do that. Cup car, I've seen that plenty. O'Reilly car, I've never really seen that.
It's Kansas. We're not at Talladega yet. We're not even at like Chicagoland or something yet. I don't know. Yeah. Like we're like
Eddie went stupid mode and he went dummy crazy off.
I mean, that car was like flapping up and down. Like that was he was flying.
Yeah.
Or no, I meant to say Michigan, not Chicagoland, but
Michigan.
Same idea.
Same idea. There were 90 DNFs in this race, in the O'Reilly race, and sadly Rajah Caruth did not run well. He's probably getting his anger out by playing Minecraft, like all rational human beings do.
Get your anger out on Minecraft.
And yeah, well, obviously you wouldn't play iRacing because iRacing makes you angry. Unless you're like level-headed, and then it doesn't. And then Allgaier, my final note is Allgaier's washed. He got P3. He didn't win the race.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Who led the most laps?
Shit. Hold up.
It was Brandon Jones.
Did Brandon Jones lead the most laps? Oh, shit.
Yeah. He led
win?
0 laps. Finished higher than him. Brent Cruz. Who picked who?
Well, my driver finished higher, so...
Yeah? I was gonna say.
Just
We both
just
have
saying.
something to rest our laurels on. That's all. That's
Yeah,
all I'm trying to say.
mine finished top 5, and
Yeah,
yours led
the most laps.
the most laps.
I'm just saying. Neither of us
Where,
won, but we both have something to hang our hat on. You know
where did he finish?
who? Jones? Eighth.
Oh, eighth. Okay, he finished. Okay, eighth. Gotcha.
Yeah, picked up
Fun
a cool
fact, by the
49
way,
points.
that's actually not bad. Um, I just want to report something real quick. Parker Retzlaff finally had a stinker.
No.
He
Yeah,
is finally not inside the top 10 in that Viking Motorsports car.
unbelievable.
Um, unbelievable. He's washed. My goat is washed. It's just unfortunate. I mean, he is still such a good driver. No
Yeah,
equipment. Said that
it is what it is. He's still in a chase spot though. You got to be in
Yep.
the top 12.
Yep. Predictions for this week
Sir,
at
what you got?
Talladega Cup. I got Ryan Blaney.
And you have Ryan Blaney because I stole Bubba Wallace right from under your nose. You were slacking. You were asleep at the wheel.
I was too busy filling out the rest of the document so we could have something to talk about.
Now, obviously, in all odds, it is going to be like a Blaney or a Denny or maybe even a Reddick. But if it's a super speedway or another track that Bubba has historically been pretty good at, I will pick Bubba because I would rather stand by my convictions than him win and me not have picked them.
Agreed. I would have picked him if you didn't. So, and then for the O'Reilly race at not Kansas, for the O'Reilly race at Dega, I have Austin Hill, who is the, what do we call it, super speedway god.
I have Demon Anthony Alfredo, who is going to lap the field at a super speedway somehow. He doesn't need a draft. He's too good. He's too good all on his own.
He's gonna be like my micro character on NASCAR when I set the AI difficulty to 0 when I'm on a super speedway.
Exactly. No, but I don't know. Do I actually think he's going to win? No, but when you had picked Hill,
Sorry.
Do I think he's going to win? Yes, I guarantee it. Put my entire paycheck on it. But
there we go.
Since you had picked Hill, I feel like it's a super speedway. It's a crapshoot, but kind of by design. So I'll pick someone, and hopefully they stay in the mix until the end. What are you giving me that look for? You think I should have picked Natalie Decker?
Hell no. I think you should have picked Jesse Love.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I was going to, but then I picked Alfredo.
Listen, Alfredo's not a bad pick. He's actually damn good at super speedways, but I'm just saying, like, Hill and Love have been the two best drivers at super speedways in, like, the past, 2 years.
Although, speaking of Jesse Love, we have 41 entries in the Cup race this week. So we'll have, actually an eye on who makes it in the race and stuff. Because Jesse Love is in the 33, and then we have New York Racing, we have Beard, we have MBM, and we have Garage 66, sorry, and we have Live Fast.
Yeah, you're saying their dead name? Canceled.
God damn.
Canceled. You're done. Your career's over. That's it. Nope. Career done. Good. IMSA no stories, WEC no stories. There was supposed to be a recap, but I did not have a chance to watch those races this past weekend. So I will watch those races now, tomorrow, and I will post about them on my social media account, or I will post a recap single video on the channel, and I'll collaborate with my own personal channel for Motorsports. But I will watch this eventually. There will be a video out for it. I just need some time to gather my shit because I had a lot of homework this weekend to get through, and so I got through as much as I could. So I have some time now tomorrow to chill, do whatever. So that's what I'll do. MotoGP, no news, no recap, but there are some races this weekend. And for the IndyCar driver spotlight, can I get a drum roll, please? Felix Rosenqvist. should have won this race handily, actually. But he did not. Caution came out after he led the first 51 laps of the race. Caution came out. Palou closed the 3.5 to 4 second gap that Rosenqvist had opened up in the first 51 laps. And then when they pitted, Palou's pit crew was better, got him out quicker, and Palou led the rest of the way. Although I do feel like if a caution did not come out, Rosenqvist would have slapped the literal shit out of Palou and wiped the floor with him. Because that man was literally on smoke the first 51 laps of that race. Do you have any thoughts on that? Did you watch it? Any bits?
I did not, unfortunately.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Wow. Anyway, as we said earlier actually, we're gonna do our racing this week before we go into our sad segment. On Saturday, April 25th, you have the Raleigh Auto Parts Series at Dega, 113 laps at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Also on Saturday, you have the MotoGP Spanish GP Sprint, 12 laps, 9 a.m. Eastern. On Sunday, you have Moto3 Spanish GP, 19 laps at 5 a.m. Eastern. You also have Moto2 Spanish GP, 21 laps at 6:15 Eastern. And then MotoGP Spanish GP, 25 laps, 8 a.m. And then to round out your beautiful weekend, you have the NASCAR Cup Series on Sunday at Dega, 188 laps at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, we have to talk about something that struck the motorsports world this past weekend. The first happened at the Nürburgring. Juha Miettinen passed away after being involved in a 7-car wreck at the Nordschleife, and rest in peace to him. The thing that I'm pissed off about this whole situation is the fact and the way that motorsports media covered the death of Juha. They included Max Verstappen in the name of their titles, most of which you had ESPN, Sky Sports, the race. There was a lot that included Max's name in the title, but not Juha Miettinen's. And I think that's extremely disrespectful. As a journalism major, as somebody who wants to cover motorsports for a career, it's really disrespectful to completely undermine the death and tragic passing of somebody when clicks and views should not be the priority. And for a lot of these news organizations, it was the priority instead of covering the tragedy with respect and integrity. There are ways to cover it while including Max. He made a beautiful tribute to Juha Miettinen on his Instagram, and you can cover that after the fact. But when you're covering the original tragic death of Juha Miettinen, you should not be trying to vie for clicks and views, because it is not the situation to be doing so.
Yeah.
I don't get why you would even try to do that. I don't. Like, the first thing that you learn in journalism school when relating to death is to be respectful, and everything you learned about SEO and getting clicks and views should be thrown out the window, because it's extremely disrespectful to the family of the person who died, their family, their friends, and just as a whole, it's disrespectful to go for clicks and views in situations like that. Hopefully these motorsport publications can do better, because it's just fucked up what they did.
I do have a question.
Yes.
And this might be a question for you as the journalist among us, but this was an Associated Press story that went out over the AP wire. Does this trace back to the Associated Press then? Or was this a decision that each of these outlets made separately?
Send me the link.
Well, I mean, I could send you the link to the ESPN story. It shows that it was an Associated Press byline. But this was an Associated Press story such that a lot of outlets picked it up.
I would probably put that on the Associated Press first and foremost, and then I would put that on the publication that decided to publish it. It's both of their faults. You shouldn't be, again, when something tragic happens like death, you shouldn't be going for clicks and views. Either you're the Associated Press, which is the biggest news organization in the world, or ESPN, which is one of the biggest news organizations in the United States. You should not be trying to garner clicks and views when a tragedy strikes, and this, in fact, is just complete disrespect to the man who died. So I would put this on A, the Associated Press, and B, on the publications that chose to use it as an article standalone, because it just isn't right to do so.
I do assume that they have control over the headlines, but that's not my area of expertise. Like that ESPN would be able to control what they attach as a headline to it.
I would assume so. I don't know for sure if they have access to headlines. I don't know what their deal with because there's many different deals you can have with the Associated Press when using their articles. I don't know what theirs is with the Associated Press, but I just know that it's very disrespectful to do that. So, also there was a spectator at a Rally Sudamerico race, Mina Clavero, who passed away, and I believe there was 2 or 3 others injured in said crash, which are okay, but yeah, very sad day in motorsports.
Very. It's a tough week. Just a reminder that these are very heavy machines moving at very fast speeds, and no matter how far safety has come, no matter how many crashes people walk away from that look very scary, it is still a very real and dangerous thing.
Yeah. In my opinion, I don't think death will ever leave motorsports, no matter the safety regulations or the safety precautions taken by each series and driver and team, just purely based on the intensity of some of these crashes. But practicing the best safety procedures and still improving safety regulations and all that, I think is necessary to keep the sport as safe as possible. Obviously, you might not think of some safety features at the time until somebody dies, as we saw from the Halo with Jules Bianchi and some other driver, and what was his name? Antoine Hubert. Although he had a Halo, so it was just Jules Bianchi who passed away due to not having a Halo, and they created the Halo. And again, drivers may say shit talk these safety regs all they want, but at the end of the day, they are proven to save lives. I know that when the Halo was introduced, a lot of people were like, "Oh, this fucking sucks. This is not racing. This is not a race car. Race cars are sexy. This is not sexy." And so many drivers in Formula 1 and Formula 2 and Formula 3 and Formula 4 have been saved by the Halo over the course of its time being a thing, including drivers like Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, Romain Grosjean. There's so many drivers that have been saved through it, and it's always necessary to keep improving safety regulations so that less and less deaths take place.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, there was, even pushback for something like a Hans device with people.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Dale Earnhardt. Although it's sad to say, but Dale Earnhardt refused to use a Hans device in it. I mean, according to, I believe, some studies done, if he used the Hans device, he probably would have survived.
Yeah.
So safety regs are there for a reason. Follow them, no matter how much you hate them. They do save lives, and it could save yours. So, anyway, that is it for the podcast today. Jack, do you have any final thoughts?
I do not. I hope that everyone listening has a safe and wonderful week.
Yes, I hope so too. We'll be back next week. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.